Good afternoon from Diriyah, Saudi Arabia.
This is cool. This was the original home of the Saudi royal family.
It might just be a little bit early. There's all of these doors that... Oh!
I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to be going in there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Having a camera is an issue.
Now this is weird. This is completely different.
Good afternoon from Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. As it was our last day in Riyadh, we decided to head to the birthplace of the Saudi state. This small town on the outskirts of the capital city, which has only recently opened up to the public. I believe it is part of the Project Saudi 2030, and they've put billions into restoring this old town, and in December they opened it to the public. Actually, if you come before 4 p.m. you can come and enter the area for free. If you go after 4 p.m. it's 100 Saudi riyals each, so for both of us it would have been like 50 English pounds, but we have no idea where we are going. We're the only ones walking through the area and we need to scan our ticket so we can get inside.
This is cool. This was the original home of the Saudi royal family, and I think they've completed one phase out of maybe 5, so there's still a lot that's going on, still a lot of construction, but this is pretty unique. Good, thank you. Can we just have a map, please? Thank you so much. Shukran. Thank you.
This is so cool.
This really is. We just picked up our free map, so we can see that this is the At Tarif district, which was a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in 2010, so they've had like 13 years of restorations to make it what it is today, and basically she said we can just walk up these stairs and wander around on our own.
As soon as you enter the district, you've got all of these tiny little streets, you've got the mud covered buildings, and we've come into the At Tarif Mosque, which was actually used as one of the last lines of defence for the area, and they actually used to shoot cannons off of this very roof.
The views from the top of this mosque are pretty cool as well. You can see behind me how it is like an oasis. They say that this has like really fertile ground, so they can sort of like grow everything, so it was like the perfect place as like a stop off for tradesmen and pilgrims. It had water, it could grow everything, and actually I was expecting it to be very peaceful. It's not. I don't know if you can tell behind me, but can you see all those cranes? All of them in the distance
are cranes.
And it is noisy. There is a lot of construction.
We might just be a little bit early, and the only ones that didn't want to pay the entry fee later on, but there is not too much going on just yet. Like I said, there's all of these alleys, tiny little narrow alleys. Is it actual mud? They've restored it. That's it. Yeah, look. It's
oh god.
They've restored the walls with the actual mud. This is the Naj D style, a bit like the restaurant that we actually went to in Riyadh, but this is how the real thing looked hundreds of years ago. There's all of these doors that... Oh! Hang on. Hang on. I don't know where we are going right now, or whether we are meant to go in here.
Oh my god.
I think we've wandered across...
Is this like an old farm?
Look! It's like an old farm, or... I think this is somewhere that they're still constructing, because they're making a lot of like lifelike museums in here. But I mean, I just pushed a door. I thought it was going to be locked. All the others have been locked so far. That was definitely a lucky guess, because most of them, I mean all of them have been locked until that one.
I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to be going in there.
Currently, it seems like there are a lot of areas that are out of bounds. There was another palace up behind us that we tried to go to, but it feels like a lot of it is still being restored. This is what the restored areas look like. Then here is what the original looks like that they still haven't got round to restoring. Like I said, there are cranes just for miles and miles on the end. It would be cool to come back here in 2030 when the whole project is complete, but for now, being the cheapskates that we are, we pretty much have the whole area to ourselves. There is just so many of these palaces scattered around the old town. And like I was saying, because this is a new destination, probably not too many people know that it's opened yet. It really is just me and Molly.
It's a really nice little area to walk around. They recommend 60 minutes. I say you could probably do it in like 10 to 15. There's really not much going on. So we've decided to just stop in one of the cafes
I think it's the
inside.
only cafe.
I think it's, yeah, actually it might be the only cafe inside, and it has some nice views.
Scrap that, it doesn't open for another 2 hours. It's a shame because look, you get the views all over the oasis, but she did say that there's, what's the name of the area?
Boulevard Terrace.
Boulevard Terrace, where apparently they've got like 20 brand new restaurants, and we've also found out if you come after 4 PM and you pay 100 each, you actually use that money, so the 200 if there's 2 of you, to spend in the Boulevard Terrace at the restaurant, so it's not all bad.
And this is the iconic photo that you see when you look at Diriyah or at Tarif, and this is the Sawa Palace. So this was where 3 rulers lived. I think it was built back in like the 18th century. It's not actually open right now. They're still doing some sort of restorations to it, but it is pretty beautiful from the outside. Just outside of the complex, because we're on the hunt now for somewhere to actually be open, is the Boulevard Terrace, which is the area with like 20 plus different restaurants. I'm
hoping they're open.
I can hear music, I can see some people
I can hear
walking
it cheering.
That means something's open.
It's just full of these fancy restaurants and a carousel if you get bored, Molly.
I would like to go on a carousel. I've never been on one that has a camel.
And then there is just lines and lines of these high-end restaurants. There's a couple of coffee shops overlooking the palace that way. I feel like all of these are going to be very expensive. Cheers.
Cheers. We eventually decided on Jolt, and this is a red iced tea, and it tastes like Vimto.
Red
Expensive. This was 18 Riyadh, so that's
actually no, it's not that bad.
£3.50, £4. I don't think it's that bad considering we do have a slight view and we are out in the open. It's just starting to get a little bit busier now as well.
Saudi is the country where if you come out too early, you're punished for it. At least we have finally found somewhere with a slight view of the oasis behind, and this is very refreshing. We have actually had another problem we've realised in Riyadh, or around Riyadh. Having a camera is an issue, which I don't really understand at a historical site. It's not that we're filming, they said you can't even take photos. If you're coming to a historical site, surely you want to take photos. Anyway, beautiful location, palace behind, oasis next to me. And we're trying to figure out what restaurant we can go to, which isn't going to break the bank. We had a change of plan. We were not going to be paying for the fine dining options, so we jumped in an Uber and we have come across to Boulevard Riyadh City. I think there are 3 boulevards. You have Boulevard World, which is behind me, which is like a theme park. I literally have cable cars going above my head. There is a normal boulevard full of like lounges, cafes, restaurants, and then there is this Boulevard Riyadh City, which is basically like Times Square. This is crazy.
Now this is weird, this is completely different to Diriyah. The buildings have all got advertisements on and it really is like Times Square.
Look at this place, it is insane. They are living in the future. They literally have too much money out here. They build everything and anything. This place is actually free to enter at the minute. I think it used to cost to go into Boulevard Riyadh City. It's going to look even better at night, but we need to get some food first.
This bit looks a bit like Singapore, with like the sort of trees hanging over you, like an inside, what do they call it? Like an inside tropical garden type thing, but it's just loads going on here. Everything's finished, everything's open.
They have too much money, that's what I'm saying. They have too much money to spend. This place is so over the top. Looking outside, they've got a zip line, a skate park, There's a rock climbing wall. It's just so Saudi, like I said. Too much money to spend, don't know what to do with it, but they do have Salt, which is the home of the best burgers in all of Saudi. We had these in Al Ula, and seriously, the best burgers I thought were Five Guys, and I think it's these.
These are close contenders.
Oh, they're good. Third time and they're still good.
Hands down, the best burgers I think I've ever had. Behind me you can see a very super futuristic fountain, and we have Al Nasser and Al Hilal.
I don't know how this works. If this was at home, you'd have a fight. There is your Al Hilal, there is your Al Nasser, the two biggest teams in Saudi Arabia. Like, look at this thing. You come down here, zoom down on like a skiing type whatever, fly up in the air, and land on that. I could see you on that.
I think I would die. And if one Times Square wasn't enough, they have a second one.
This place is just ridiculous. They have got everything and anything. You've got that huge globe, you've got some laser tag thing, you've got bowling, you've got another entertainment zone. I actually prefer this to Diriyah. Diriyah was great with the history, but I didn't like the fact that if you wanted to spend a day there, the only places to eat was fine dining. Here, you've got everything from McDonald's to Dunkin' to a blooming Squid Games restaurant. Who needs New York? They are, I don't know, too much money to even know what to do with it. Look at this. Welcome to the beautiful Satco bus station. My least favourite thing about Saudi Arabia.
From Riyadh we actually got the dreaded Satco bus. Hopefully we only have to do it one more time. Well, that was very exhilarating, I must admit.
That does bring our one whole month in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to an end.